Non-traditional clothing, weird astrologers, and out-of-control spending. Melania Trump may have had a scandal or two during her time in the White House, but she wasn't the only First Lady to do so. In 2016, Melania Trump found herself in hot water when she was accused of plagiarizing a speech by Michelle Obama. Both she and Donald Trump's campaign repeatedly denied that elements of the speech were taken from Mrs. Obama's 2008 speech. They even went so far as to blame the Clinton campaign for bringing up false allegations.
I wrote it and with a little help as possible.
Unfortunately, staff writer Meredith McIver did say those elements were plagiarized, writing in a statement, "This was my mistake and I feel terrible for the chaos I have caused Melania and the Trumps, as well as to Mrs. Obama. No harm was meant." Melania's reputation took a pretty big hit as a result. Since then, the former model has largely stayed away from making speeches on behalf of her husband. Hillary Clinton also faced criticism in 2004 when she posed for her White House portrait in a pantsuit instead of a dress. Some believed it was a break in tradition and a slight towards the office she held. However, the pantsuit ended up becoming a signature for Hillary for better or worse, serving as a rallying cry for supporters and a meme to laugh at for those against her. Furthermore, when Hillary bucked tradition in her portrait, it opened the door for future First Ladies to be more true to themselves. Her popularity didn't take a massive hit either, with her famous pantsuits becoming a banner for her eventual presidential campaign. However, Clinton wasn't the first First Lady to stir up a scandal over pants. That honor goes to Betty Ford, who served as First Lady from 1974 to 1977. Pants were a hot topic for First Ladies in the 1970s. While many women had begun wearing pants in public, it was still considered controversial for a woman in office to wear them. So when a photo of Ford's last day in office showed her shoeless and wearing pants, it apparently rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. However, it didn't diminish Ford's popularity once she left office. She had been a major influence in women's rights during her time in politics, and used her platform as the First Lady to push those agendas forward. Nancy Reagan was another First Lady who found herself at the center of a scandal. As a firm believer in astrology, Nancy employed an astrologist named Joan Quigley, who guided many of the First Lady's decisions. Nancy believed that it was the only way she could help keep her husband safe after a failed assassination attempt almost killed him in 1981. Quigley wrote in her memoir that she was in charge of the timing for every aspect of the presidency, from speeches to the travels of Air Force One. Essentially, the Reagans scheduled nothing without the approval of Quigley.
I mean, Mrs. Reagan has been into astrologers from the very first she came to Hollywood.
It was Donald Reagan, Reagan's chief of staff in his second term, who ultimately exposed the arrangement. He and Nancy feuded often. So after his resignation, he wrote about Quigley's involvement in his 1988 memoir, For the Record, From Wall Street to Washington. The scandal sparked numerous headlines and labeled Nancy Reagan as an oddball for years to come. Finally, there's Mary Todd Lincoln, who was truly haunted by her scandalous behavior for her entire life. She was already disliked in government for her erratic behavior, possible bipolar disorder, and strong opinions. But her constant splurging is what left a lasting stain on her reputation. Lincoln often raised eyebrows with her spending habits, going over budget on her wardrobe, decorations, and other purchases. She had come from money and didn't care about what she spent. While living in the White House, she was also afforded credit, which would eventually come back to bite her after her husband's death. This was a bad time for Lincoln's lavish spending as the country was struggling through the Civil War. She racked up debts that were the equivalent of over $500,000 today. And despite getting a widow's pension from the government, her financial problems followed her until she died in 1882.